Buzzketeers.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Allie, and we are the Three Buzzketeers. Wait, have we been saying the three or just the Buzzketeers?
The Buzzketeers, but
cool,
it's okay.
I messed up the intro. It's fine.
Either way works. Either way works. Just keep it. Keep rolling.
I mean, as long as there's always three of us, that's what matters. Because if you keep saying it and then it's just an episode where it's just you and Nicole, that'd be kind of awkward.
Yeah. I feel like a conversation with just me and Nicole would not just be a podcast, though, because we'd go on way too many tangents about musical theater or something, and then the audience would be like, I thought this was a Disney podcast. What's happening? Why are we here?
To be fair, though, if they know anything about at the three of us, period, it's the fact that we like tangents.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and we're really good at segues. We're great at segues.
We love segues. We stan a segue. Anyway, segue into the real topic.
Before that segue, though.
Before that...
We all have nice microphones now, so
Yay.
Hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better than it was for the past two episodes.
Gotta hope.
Also, today's podcast is brought to you on my end by Knob Creek. It's a bourbon. It's 100 proof. It's about to get crazy.
We got some Boda Box Red Blend.
Nice. I mean, I just threw some White Claw in my Starbucks tumbler with some frozen strawberries, and I was like, classy.
Looks like a refresher.
It does.
It does. I look like I'm not drinking anything, but I promise I am. Anyway, the theme of this podcast is alcohol and Disney, if you could not tell. So let's get into some Disney now that we've talked about alcohol.
So the Disney parks are gradually reopening. Shanghai just opened, and there is a lot going on with that, and it's basically the test pilot to see if they can implement some of those rules here in America as well as in Europe and at the other parks. So Nicole, I know you've been following the most up-to-date info on this, so what's your take on all of it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch. Obviously, like, we're not in China, so I can't speak to whether it's the right time or the wrong time or whatever. I do think, like, it's definitely not the right time for U.S. parks at the very least to reopen, so it's still going to be a while for us, I think. I also think Disneyland will be the last park to open for sure. But it's interesting to see that they actually allowed face masks for cast members, because I really didn't expect them to do that, because smiling is such a big part of Disney culture. So I think that one is like the biggest one for me that I'm like, wow, they actually did that.
Well, culturally too, though, it's different over there.
It's true.
I feel like it's more acceptable for someone to wear a face mask over there culturally. So even though it does kind of go against the whole smile 24/7 Disney thing, it's okay for them to do it because it's, aside from the protection aspect, it's just culturally more normal.
Yeah,
it's true. I wonder if it will even go over well if they try it in U.S. parks, with half the people here refusing to wear masks. So we'll see.
It could end up being something, though. I mean, if you think about that, like, there's a bunch of grocery stores where you can't go in unless you're wearing a mask. They've got greeters there. But then you have to wonder about, like, regulations. So once somebody does enter that park, are they going to wear their masks? Because I know, Nicole, you shared with me an account where somebody has gone in and they've taken off their mask just for a photo op. And so how can you be on top of guests that whole time? Because, everyone has their own free will with that. So who's really going to follow the rules?
Well, and the United States doesn't have a blanket rule about it like China does. Because I'm pretty sure they have like a blanket rule where you have to. Each state is run differently. Like in North Carolina, where I am, it is strongly encouraged for you to cover your face, but no one's going to get in trouble for it. No one's going to not let you go to Target. To be honest, and I'm probably going to get flack for this, but, like, personally, I just don't feel comfortable wearing a mask. I'm one of those, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm not wearing it. I also find it's really uncomfortable, and we have, like, the N95 masks, because I bought them, like, 2 or 3 years ago when I was refurbishing furniture and doing lots of sanding. Yeah, it's like, for me, I'm just not going to do it. But, like I said, though, if it happens, though, like, I'm willing to accept the consequences. You know, but at the same time, I appreciate everybody who does wear a mask, and I respect everyone who wants to. But, like, I don't know, because there's people that I know who would refuse to wear a mask. They're just not going to do it, period.
Yeah, and I think that would be the issue with us here in the US is people would definitely get angry about it because it's not a part of our culture. And so it's a foreign idea to us wearing masks. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to implement at the US parks. I definitely think I don't know about Paris or Tokyo, but I definitely think at the very least Disneyland will be the very last park to open because anyone in California or paying attention to California knows that Governor Newsom is taking things very, very seriously as far as when we will reopen anything, and Disney is in the very last phase of reopening for California.
Yeah, entertainment's not high on the tier whatsoever. No. I know, I mean, heck, even things that are on the higher tiers, like education, that's not happening for the most part this year. I mean, the CSUs have already announced they're not opening for fall semester. The UCs are not far behind, which means the rest of the schools in the state are very likely about to announce that as well. So we don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what they implement. Obviously, China has very different policies. They have health QR codes over there, so they're able to scan their fancy health QR codes and see who's red, green, or yellow, and only people with green are allowed to go in, meaning they have had, I think, no contact with COVID-19.
So. And they have a very low capacity right now, right? Isn't it? It's like 20 or 30% or something?
Like 30%. So it's very low.
Remember the 30% capacity days? Man.
It's crazy.
Those were the best days. They were the slowest days, but they were like the best because you just got to hang out. At that point, it wasn't even work anymore. It was just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the US parks. I think it kind of gives us a glimpse into the future, but not at the same time, just because it's such a different culture and such a different government we're dealing with.
Yeah, just because it works in one part of the world doesn't mean it's going to work in ours.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Oh, it sounded so morbid.
Well, these are the times.
We're not saying it in a way that it means
I know, but that sounded so morbid. God.
Yeah.
It honestly, one of the reasons why I love the fact that we're doing this podcast, aside from the fact that it gives me an excuse to talk with you guys for hours on end, honestly, is that it just makes me miss Disney even more.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to Disneyland, Nicole, I think, since we went that day after Thanksgiving in 2016.
Wow.
So this is the longest I've gone without Disneyland in probably 15 years.
I haven't been since February.
You came pretty recently. Yeah. I mean, I cannot wait for the day that Disney is able to safely open its gates again. But I know a lot of people want it to reopen and they are missing it, but it is definitely best for them to keep them closed until it's safe. That's for sure.
I feel like if and when Disneyland reopens, it's this year, next year, whatever.
I heard that too, and I was waiting for the comment. It will reopen.
It will. Well, don't worry, it'll reopen.
The question is
in
just
my
what's it gonna
lifetime,
look like?
though, or
yes, in your lifetime. Whoa, you think we're gonna be doing this for forever?
No, I think she thinks she's gonna get the Rona and not survive it. Ugh.
Oh.
Knock on wood. That's not gonna happen.
No.
If I do, Ray, when you watch this when you're older, Mommy was not an alcoholic, and Mommy loves you very much.
So I should cut that part out of the podcast this week, right?
You can keep it. I don't care.
I'm kidding.
We're getting morbid here.
Yeah, can we turn this into a little happier?
I was getting there, but I don't remember where I was going now.
Well, let's sprinkle some pixie dust on this darkness. How about that? Let's talk about some things that make us happy.
Yeah, make some magic.
Let's talk about some good times with Disney and what part of Disney that we really miss the most and what we can't wait to do again when we are allowed back.
I don't know what I miss more, the food or Oh, no. We're going to rewind because I know exactly where I was going. Okay.
Okay.
So
this is how tangents happen.
No, but this is a relevant tangent.
All right, go for it.
I feel like when Disneyland does reopen, I think as a whole, Disneyland is a symbol of hope for a lot of people in this country. And as soon as Disneyland does open, I think it's going to give hope to everyone that everything is going to get better. Because, I mean, it's the happiest place on earth. Like, I'm not even in California, and I was devastated when Disneyland was announced that it was going to be closing. I was so sad.
Yeah.
I was like, no. They've never done anything like this. And prior to this, I think the last time that they had closed was 9/11.
Yep.
Which that was a trip. That was my first trip to Disneyland. We're not going to get into it, but we'll talk about that on another podcast. But anyway.
We can talk about trippy times at Disneyland. I mean, remember that earthquake in 2014?
Ooh, that was fun.
Dude, I was outside. I think I was getting ready to do Split at Star Tours. And I was walking, and I, lost my balance. And I literally, you know how they tell you never to touch guests? Well, I grabbed one by the arm so I didn't, face plant.
I was in the one safety position for Pyro. So I couldn't leave. And I was facing Tomorrowland, and I watched Astro Orbiter just sway. Yeah, and it was the most surreal moment. And I don't remember who was working GSO with me, but from across the way. No, it was a guy, and I don't remember which guy it was. But he mouthed across to me. He went, "Are you okay?" The biggest, widest mouth. And I was just in this moment of shock of I think so. Because I literally couldn't leave where I was because I had to prevent guests from going toward the castle. And I was like, I can't do anything.
No. Okay, so what happened? So I grabbed the lady. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "You didn't feel that?" And she said, "Feel what?" And then that happened because as you saw the orbiter going, me and her look up and we see the people mover track going like this. Oh. And not 2 seconds later, I just started pushing everybody out of Tomorrowland into Main Street, and everyone was listening. No questions asked. It was great. And
there were so many faces, though, little kids and stuff that were bawling, and I was just like, "Oh, have a magical day."
At one point, Natasha came, and it was just me and Natasha. And it was the worst experience ever in terms of an earthquake at Disneyland, but it was the best experience ever because everyone was listening and there was no question of whether I actually had to go that direction. Mm-hmm. That night, actually, when the second, because remember there were 2 earthquakes?
Yeah, and then there were aftershocks for a week after.
So,
one of the second, after the second earthquake, right after we had reopened, this girl was in the Star Tours queue, and she was so confused as to what happened. And I had to tell her, I was like, "Hey, our ride's closed. Everything's closed. Just go into Main Street. When they reopen, they'll make the announcement, blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "Why is it closed?" I said, "Well, we want to make sure it's safe for you. So all the maintenance guys have to go to each ride and make sure it's safe." And I said, this girl couldn't have been more than 13. And she looks up at me, and she goes, "I like that you guys are putting our safety into account. That makes me feel good." And I was like, "God bless you. And if you're staying and this ends up opening up tonight, come back and find me because I will put you on whatever ride you want because you understand."
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember the day after going into tours, and as I walked in, they were like, "Man, did you just feel that earthquake?" And I was like, "No." But at the big one I felt, but so many of the aftershocks I just didn't feel because I had been living in LA for a little while and just kind of got used to earthquakes. Yeah. I don't think is the best thing, but I got used to them. But that big one was so surreal.
For me, honestly, I was working GSO. I was at the West Gate, which is a rope closing off a certain section for Frontierland, for anyone who doesn't know. And honestly, having lived in Southern California my whole life, having been in a big earthquake in a Home Depot, good time.
Wow, hope you weren't near any power tools.
Forget the power tools. There's bags of cement and tiles. And
that's true.
There's lumber that could fall on you.
Yeah, so. I would feel safe around the power tools. At least they're in boxes.
All right.
But yeah, it honestly didn't even register to me. I was like, am I feeling faint? And then I was like, oh no, we're having an earthquake. And then I was like, okay. And
just moved on.
I just moved on with my life. Earthquakes are so normal to me.
It was so great to me how everybody, once that incident happened, because you don't get earthquake training. You get emergency evacuation training, which is basically the same thing if you're working on the inside part of a ride, but outside you don't get any training at all. Someone just comes up and tells you, hey, this is what you got to do. But like everyone that I could visually see, and everyone sharing their experiences, not just here, but I remember even back then, everyone just kind of, it happened and we just jumped in and we did what we had to do. And like, to me, that was one of the best parts. Yeah. Because it wasn't a question. It was, okay, everybody get out of this thing, get off this ride, get out of line. We're going to shut down and then reopen.
Yeah. Yeah. Where I was, all I could do was direct people to go toward Main Street.
Yeah.
And I mean,
all we did. Yeah.
They would ask questions. Yeah. They would be like, oh, well, what happened? It's like, well, we had an earthquake. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. We'll let you know. Listen for the PA.
Yeah. All we did for GSO was take down the ropes, keep people calm. That was pretty much it. I honestly am probably glad I was at GSO and not my attraction.
That would have been really awkward if you were at Auto, I feel like.
It's not like I'd had a downtime before where we were like, hey, we need to get everyone out, no re-ads. Like, we were just evacuating people, and that was not a great time because a guy asked me, oh, what's happening? And I was like, oh, we're going down. We're not sure what's happening. We're just trying to get everyone out as safely as possible at the moment. And he's like, this is why women shouldn't work here. And I was like, oh, yeah, you can ask.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, you could ask one of my male coworkers. They will be able to tell you the exact same thing as me. So literally at Auto, all everyone does is they yell 101 and everyone else starts yelling 101 and you start evacuating people. That's how it works. You don't ask, well, why are we going 101? You go 101 and then you ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even ask. You just go, all right, that happens. Cool.
Yeah.
My favorite reason, though, interjection. My favorite reason for Star Tours to go 101 was when C-3PO started like leaning forward.
Yeah, C-3PO was like, yeah.
I remember having to shut down the attraction for that once because I was at Split.
His arm was like leaking once.
Yeah, it leaks. And then he starts to lean forward and they would call it, and this is not PC, but they would call it C-3PO is going emo.
I remember that.
Because the liquid wasn't clear. It was a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And
like
so
an oil?
Something like that, because animatronics. But I think that was one of my favorite downtimes ever because we were like, all right, well, C-3PO is going emo. We're going down. And then I was at Split. So anyone there, like we got them through. I called up to Tower and I was like, all right, we're set to go at Split. We're closed. And so we got everything cycled through. And I think we were down for like 3 hours. And so that was most of my shift that day. It was great.
Love that. Love that.
Blue Moon, it's nice not to work, We
love a good downtime.
Oh, yeah. And when you get greeter, you stand at the entrance and you're like, oh no, we're closed. Sorry, come back later. We might open. We hope so.
Yeah, that's all. But
yeah, as much as like, as crazy as it was, honestly, like all the time, I think it was probably my favorite job ever.
It's in my top 2.
Yeah. Like, guys, we're complaining about this, but the 3 of us, I think that whole experience really played a big role in our character and obviously our friendships. So,
yeah. It's when Ashley found out I have a mom voice.
I did.
Remember that?
Vaguely.
There were kids. Okay, this is one of the times you forced me to be outside with you when I didn't want to be, and we were pushing traffic. And these kids on the other side were like bolting down, and I yelled at them. I said, slow down or something like that. And then they looked like, where did that noise come from? And then I went, thank you.
I remember that.
And you were like,
wow.
Whoa, that came out of you? It was very funny.
It's not that I ever thought you didn't have a mom voice. I just hadn't heard it yet. You don't use it very often.
I used it in the classroom, I'll tell you.
Of the 3 of us, I think I used the mom voice the most.
Well, you are a mom, duh.
Even before then. Like, my whole life, I've just been the other mom, and now I am a mom, so my life is, like, full circle now.
You were the mom friend, and now you're the mom friend.
I know, it's so weird. I just hope I'm the cool mom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna tell Ray. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm cool. You know why? I worked at Disneyland. Boom. And he's
my students go nuts when they find out I worked at Disneyland. They're like, oh my God, what'd you do? And it's
everybody
literally
goes nuts.
It's ridiculous. It's because they idolize it, because it is that magical like retreat, circling back to, that beacon of hope that Ashley was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
And, once places like Disneyland get to open up again after, when we find out what our new normal is and how to approach that, I think it'll be good for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I cannot wait to eat Disney snacks again.
Oh, what's your favorite, Nicole?
Oh, gosh. Well, my favorite snack, like true snack, is the Mickey pretzel with cheese sauce. Like, just can't go wrong there. Cannot go wrong. And then as far as like actual food goes, it used to be the clam chowder bread bowl until I became a vegetarian. Now I cannot eat that anymore. But now it is the Rontolis wrap over in Galaxy's Edge, which is fully vegan, plant-based sausage. It tastes real. It's so good. It's the best. I want one.
I would try it.
It's good. My boyfriend Ian, he had it. He's not vegetarian at all. He's had both the meat one and the non-meat one. He likes the non-meat one better. So there you go. It's good stuff.
I would try it.
I miss the at Maurice's cart near the castle, the apple boysenberry slush drink. On a hot summer's day, that is probably one of my favorite treats to get. And then I would get the chocolate twist that you can get there too, because it's flaky, and that's such a good combo.
I think the only time I've ever had that is with you,
because I told you about it.
You told me about it.
You need to try this.
Yeah. Just for the record, there's a lot of stuff Allie told me to do, and even though I did use the mom voice a lot, I never said no.
The way you said that makes it sound like I was not the greatest influence, Ashley.
I'm just saying, I was like a yes, dear.
See, but the thing is, I'm also very much a mom. Like, I'm 100% always the mom friend, too. So I feel like we kind of played off each other at that level.
I feel like the worst part about me saying that is that I do call you dear.
You do.
I do.
You go, yes, dear.
You call me ma, and it's just dear. Like, I'll text you, be like, hey, dear, happy birthday.
And I'll say, thanks, ma.
You guys are both the mom friends, which makes you the married couple.
I know, right? That's what it sounds like.
So I guess I'm the kid. Am I the kid?
You're the redheaded stepchild.
Oh, no, Ashley, don't.
I'm kidding.
I'm cutting this.
It's all right. I don't mind being the redheaded stepchild.
You say as you say that in the saddest voice and go for your alcoholic beverage. Like, it's fine.
As I cry over my White Claw.
Listen, I was born a ginger, so like I just got older and it got darker. You didn't.
I'm the true ginger.
I just have those weird ginger highlights when I go in the sun.
I remember the slushy though. The slush, that was really, really good.
It's so good.
I'm not gonna lie, you told me about it and I thought you were overhyping it. I was like, great, this is gonna be like Dole Whip 2.0 because I do not like Dole Whips. As
you've mentioned in previous episodes.
It's because I hate pineapple.
Why?
What a bad Hawaiian you are.
I am you know what? I am what I call a coconut. I am brown on the outside, but super white on the inside.
Well, they have the raspberry Dole Whip now, so there's that.
What?
Yeah, they have raspberry Dole Whip.
That sounds way too sweet.
I would try it.
It's very good. It's very good.
I want that boysenberry freeze so bad now.
I know, it sounds like really good now that you mention it. I miss like when it comes to actual snacks, I miss churros so much.
A fresh churro. Oof.
Yes, there's nothing better than a churro. And we were in Indiana last year and our Sam's Club had churros. And it was not the same experience. And I'm getting emotional talking about it. But all I want is a damn churro. That's all I want.
Didn't Disney put out their churro recipe? I know they just put out their beignet recipe, which, yes, I'm also missing those.
Oh, man.
Beignets.
A beignet with a mint julep.
No lie. So when, I don't know if you guys remember, but when we first started our college program, I wore lipstick like every day of my life.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
I stopped wearing lipstick after I was trying to eat beignets and I couldn't.
Oh no. That's the reason?
That's it. Beignets, man.
No stinking way. You probably ended up with like white powder lips or something.
Yes, yeah, but it was all over my lips. I couldn't fix my lipstick and I was like, it's not worth it if I can't eat beignets.
So, hey, you know, good a reason as any to stop wearing lipstick. I just go for the lip stains so it doesn't really stick to anything.
Hey, are you gonna try the beignet recipe?
Me?
Yeah.
I screenshot it. So I think I'm going to. I'm missing a couple ingredients that I'll need to get.
Well, let me know if you make it and if it's any good. I am not going to make the churro recipe for the simple fact that I know it will not taste as good as Disney's. I don't care if it's the same recipe. It's like making something your grandma makes. It's never as good as your grandma's.
Yeah. I need vegetable shortening and heavy cream. Those are the two things I'm missing.
I feel like it's not as good, but I mean, you can make fried dough and
fried dough. But the thing is, fried dough, that's 100% like what my childhood of like back east, all the cousins on my mom's side would come together and my grandpa would make us fried dough. And then you have that fresh fried dough, you put some butter on there, shake some cinnamon sugar, and it's just like the most delicious, worst for you breakfast ever. And it was always on a Sunday.
Guys, I'm really wanting donuts now.
I've been craving donuts for the past week.
I know they're not the same, but
this is a food podcast now. Get used to it.
What's your favorite quick service restaurant? Like if you're going to eat lunch or dinner,
USFB.
Like where would you?
That's quick service food and beverage.
We like acronyms at Disney.
Hey, Disney and teaching. Disney prepared me for teaching with all the acronyms that exist. My gosh, I don't even know half of them anymore.
Disney prepared me for a call center where I had to talk to people on the phone and smile.
I still work at Disney, so I guess Disney prepared me for Disney.
I feel like you're going to have like a career there and you're going to like do management and like do all these great things.
I can see you as a manager.
That's my hope one day. So
like I genuinely
that was my goal.
You're still
initially
gonna get me in, right? I don't care about Jordan and my kid and my future children.
As long as you can get the buzzketeers in, that's all that matters.
Yes, let's do it. Always.
But what's your favorite place to get like lunch or I'm gonna say or dinner? I know that they have different menus sometimes depending on where you go for lunch and dinner, but
it really depends. I mean, I always like R2P2. Is it even called that anymore? Red Rocket Pizza Port?
No, it's called Pizza Planet now. I think they officially changed.
They officially made it?
So
I always liked that one.
Port.
I just call it R2P2 because that's its acronym name. And I had a friend who worked there and they were like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be reporting. And I was like, well, let's figure it out. We did some sleuthing. And so now I call it R2P2 because it sounds like R2D2 because, you know, Star Wars. Tomorrowland, all that fun stuff. So I always like that because like there's so many different options and like you can get a salad that's probably like 5,000 calories, but it's fine. Or you could get more junk food kind of stuff. And that's also where I got my BB-8 that is sitting here in the background.
I think Jordan has a similar one.
It's a cup. Came with straw.
Souvenir sipper.
I think Jordan has that same one, but I think we got it in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably that's one of my favorite like little souvenirs that I've gotten at Disney just because it's really cute. And they're like, oh, they're gonna sell out. Well, guess what? They still had them 2 months later and they had so many because they had overbought them. So anyway, it's because everything that they'd done previously for like BB-8 sold out in minutes. And so they expected these ones to sell out. So I think they just over purchased, which is fine. I mean, they're great. I use it as decoration, not a sipper, but
same. It's on our in our house above our desks. My husband and I have our desks next to each other on his shelf because we got shelves on the wall. He's got BB-8 up there.
Yeah, and it's great. It's plastic, so if it falls, it won't break.
Yep.
I never bought a souvenir sipper. I did get a souvenir popcorn bucket for my little brother once, though. I got him the Zero House, the like dog house.
Oh, I like that one.
So that one was cute. But yeah, I always thought I thought the balloon popcorn buckets were cute though.
I wanted one of those. I never got any of the souvenir beverage items. I went straight to Disney pins. I would buy those suckers up like crazy.
I know.
I had an unhealthy obsession with the pins, and I don't know why. I really don't.
It's a thing.
I still, they're in a box like 10 feet that way. I still have them.
It's a thing. For sure.
As somebody who's pin traded as your work sometimes, Nicole, right?
Yes, I have. I certainly have. I mean, I like pins. I have a few pins, so they're cute.
I have some that like have meaning behind them. Like I have one of the Star Tours Fast Pass pins, and I have like my Star Tours Agent of the Month pin, like things like that. And then I also have Tinkerbell pins because I like her because she's sassy, you know.
I mean, I have an Anakin Tsum Tsum pin.
That's awesome.
Because Anakin is my space boyfriend.
That's so pure. I love that. The way you just said that.
I tell everyone Anakin is my space boyfriend.
This is the first time I've heard of that.
I thought we talked about this last time.
Did we?
Possibly.
I think we did. No. We weren't recording because I think it was when you were singing. And
I listened through those podcasts several times. So
no, it was when you were singing and playing the piano, and Nicole was just like, "What is that in the corner?" And you're like, "It's Marie." And then Nicole was like, "I have the Anakin Tsum Tsum."
I also see, if you're watching the video, not just listening, I have Marie in this corner, BB-8 in this corner, and a cat over my shoulder somewhere.
Yeah, I also have my Queen Amidala ornament to go with him because he needs his girl. His real girl.
I have an R2-D2 ornament that's sitting in a basket right now because my cats discovered that they could knock it over and I don't want it to break.
I'm in my garage, so I've got my golf clubs right here.
Is that a turtle?
Yeah.
Dude.
He's my driver head cover.
That's awesome.
I could talk about my
turtles are my spirit animal.
I could talk about the golf clubs I had as a kid, but I feel like we should get back on Disney to make editing easier.
All right, so I said R2-P2. Where do you guys like to go for quick service?
You said you like to go to that place in Galaxy's Edge. That's your favorite, right, Nicole? To get that wrap? It's
not quite like, it is quick service, I guess, but it is my favorite like food item, but it's not like,
I would say that would be quick service. We went there. I think it's quick service. Because there's no tables. I mean, there's really no tables available. You walk in, you get in line and go.
You could have said Cathay Circle or Blue Bayou. Like, I wouldn't have judged.
Yeah, so it's basically, I think quick service counts as anything where it's not like a sit-down experience with a waiter. Yeah. So I think, you're right. Yeah. That is quick service.
It counts. Yeah. I do like, what's it called? French Market. I like that place, too.
Oh, man. The French
That's a good one.
Really good.
Yeah. But I haven't been there since I went vegetarian, so I don't know if it has anything I can eat, to be honest.
I'm sure you can look it up online. I'm sure the menu exists.
They probably have something that's vegetarian. It's just probably not going to be something you want to eat.
Probably. Yeah.
I think my favorite, I go back and forth between the chicken fusilli pasta at Pizza Port and the fried chicken from Carnation.
Ooh.
Or from not Carnation, from the Plaza Inn.
Plaza Inn, though, their chicken Alfredo, used to be my fave.
God, all this talking about food is making me really hungry.
We're just gonna eat now.
I'm just gonna, we're gonna get done with this, and I'm gonna make a big fat thing of pasta.
I'm gonna make some pork chops after this. I'm stoked.
Oh, I made tri-tip earlier for dinner.
It
was great.
Have only eaten chips and pistachios today.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh. I had
But I mean, I also didn't wake up until 11:30, so.
Exactly.
I've been ordering sushi a lot. But it's avocado sushi and cucumber rolls, of course, so.
Oh man, I miss sushi.
I love sushi.
You know what I really miss? I don't know if they have it still or not, but I miss the soft serve over at the pier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I know they do the whole Pixar thing now, but I think it's always going to be just the regular pier until I go there. And I'm going to be like, oh no, it's Pixar. Because like in my head, it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of just a glorified paint job, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's the exact same thing that it is. Everything's just renamed.
I know. But I feel like in my head, I'm not going to rename it in my head until I go there. Because what is it? It's like the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah.
Ice cream place. Yeah. I miss soft serve.
The lemon is not good. I will say that. I didn't like it.
I mean, I don't think the lemon is supposed to be good. You're never supposed to eat the lemon snow, Nicole.
Well, that's all they sell. What am I supposed to do?
Do they really not sell soft serve there anymore?
It's lemon soft serve, and it's not great.
That's it. That breaks my heart.
See, I'm also sad that Cove Bar is now Lamplight Lounge.
Ugh.
It was the thing about Cove Bar. It was so good, and you could literally just go to the parks just to go to Cove Bar and like sit there.
We did that multiple times.
Yes, I know. Eat some lobster nachos, have like 2 or 3 drinks, whatever, and then just go home.
Yeah.
But and now like they have the expansion on it, and now it's themed to like, I don't like it anymore. It makes me very sad.
Cove Bar, it got too popular.
It did. It was like one of those like gems.
Right after, it got popular right after we got there, I think. Like you already knew about it and stuff, Allie, but
I mean, I was an AP before I was a CP, so.
We used to go to the parks a lot just because we could go. And I think one of my favorite times is one night, the 3 of us plus my sisters, and I think it was Kelly, who was in DCP with us. The 6 of us, I think it was just the 6 of us, we all played hide and seek in Disneyland.
Dang, that was fun.
It was so stressful.
It was so stressful. It was so fun though, because it was the middle of summer. There were people everywhere. So you could literally just sit down at a table in a restaurant and like not be found forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because I was seeking forever and then didn't find people because they were sitting at a table in the middle of, what's that little pier behind the turkey leg station?
The Small World area.
Yeah, right there where nobody ever goes. That's where somebody was hiding from me, and they're like, you're getting colder. And I'm like, well, I don't know where you are. And I walked by that entrance to it probably about 30 times before I finally walked onto that stupid pier, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
That was great.
That was not fun for me, because I think it was about 20 minutes of me seeking, and I was like, at this point, I was like, I'm over it.
We all had partners, I think.
We did.
I think, Allie, was I your partner? Because I remember that too.
I think you guys were partners. I think you guys were partners, because I think my sisters were together.
They were.
I was with Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah. And we all had code names. It was great. We used walkie-talkies.
And we used Disney codes for things.
You still have that walkie-talkie, don't you, Nicole?
I sure do. I got it right here. For anyone not watching, I'm holding a walkie-talkie.
I just want to let everyone know, I have had 3 walkie-talkies for the past 6 years. And I have been so frustrated because I could not find the 4th. And literally like 2 or 3 days ago, Nicole goes, hey, look at what I found. And I'm like, son of a gun. That's where it went.
We should try them.
Oh, yeah, let's see if it works across the coast.
You're a little far, about 3,000 miles too far for that to
Let's test that limit. This is the way.
You're dumb, but I love you. This is the way.
That line, you're dumb, but I love you. Nice one, Ashley. Nice.
I tell my husband that all the time. And we're still married. See, we're still married.
I feel like everyone tells their significant other that, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
At one point or another.
Actually mean it though, because not everybody does.
I mostly say you're a dork, but I love you.
So my husband grew up in a family that did not watch Disney at all, and I have converted him. And I want to thank Goofy's Kitchen for their breakfast buffet, because that's one of the main reasons why my husband loves Disneyland so much. He loves the food.
the food is truly like, if like, I like the rides at Disney. They're great. The shows are great, but God, the food, like, even if I don't feel like going to Disney, I'll be like, I want some Disney food.
It's a part of the experience, though. Like, I understand that it's expensive, and if you can't afford to have all 3 meals in the park, which is totally fine, you should at least experience 1 meal in the park a day if you can.
Oh, yeah.
And the servings are usually so big. Like, my mom and I, we split the chicken dinner at Plaza Inn.
Yeah.
Because it's like a huge.
Yeah, when we went last year for my brother's birthday, we went to the Plaza Inn, and like, none of my family finished their servings.
Yeah, no. Exactly.
And there's no way to like take your leftovers to go.
Yeah.
Like in a safe way, like in a food safe way. Because I mean, if you just go there to eat and you get to go containers and go home, you're fine. But that's not everyone's experience, you know? Not everyone has that ability to just go like, I'm just going to go in the park and have a meal and then leave and go home. It's fine. So
Yeah. But the food is great. Like, at least have one Disney snack because, oh my God.
It's worth spending $10 just for a little snack.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to go. I really just want a snack.
I do too.
Man, now I'm sad. This episode has now made me sad, y'all. Sad and nostalgic.
Well,
have you guys though, have you had the Mickey bars that they have been selling in stores like at Target?
They do not taste as good as the ones in the park.
I have yet to find them.
They don't, but oh my gosh, they at least give me the feels.
I saw them the other day and I said, no, I'm not going to buy them. And then I kind of threw like a temper tantrum on the inside because I was like, if I can't eat them in the park, I'm not going to eat them anymore. Damn it.
I will say a good dupe that I've found that's not Mickey shaped is just a Dove bar. The chocolate on them, really good.
I think the worst part about it all for me is the fact that even when I go to the parks for ice cream, I get the Toll House cookies, the cookie sandwich. I don't even get like a Mickey bar or anything. So like I'll go to Sam's Club and see like all the like the 24 pack of Toll House cookie sandwiches. And I'm just like, man, I bet those do taste the same as the ones at Disneyland. But I'm not going to chance it, and I just keep walking.
You just don't want to ruin that flavor in your mind.
No,
I
don't.
Just make some homemade Toll House cookies. Like, go get the batter that's already made.
It's not the same, though.
Okay, listen, I'm trying to be a team player here, and I'm just getting yelled at, so...
Dang.
You're not getting yelled at. I'm wearing noise-canceling headphones, so I literally don't know my volume control right now.
I can just turn my volume down and not hear anything. It's fine.
You could. I mean, it's up to you. Remember, you were yelling in my ear earlier.
I was ASMRing in your ear earlier.
This is getting weird.
It's really getting weird. So on that note, everyone, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed our talk about Disney snacks. I'm Ashley.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Allie.
We'll see you guys next time.